Most people believe healing is something that starts only after something goes wrong, when pain appears, when a diagnosis shows up, when symptoms become impossible to ignore. But that belief is one of the biggest misunderstandings about the human body. Healing is not a reaction. He- Think about this for a moment. Your body is not weak. It's not broken. It's actually incredibly intelligent. Right now, as you're watching this video, your body is repairing damaged cells, balancing hormones, fighting inflammation, and protecting you from disease. Healing is not something your body starts doing after you get sick. Healing is the default mode. The problem is, many of us are constantly switching that mode off. Healing is the default state. Your body is always trying to repair, protect, and restore itself every single second of your life. Right now, without you doing anything consciously, your body is replacing damaged cells, calming inflammation, fixing tiny injuries, and maintaining balance. Even when you feel tired, even when you feel unwell, even when you think nothing is happening. Healing doesn't wait for permission. It's built into your biology. Another silent blocker of healing is ultra-processed food, even small amounts. These foods are designed to be easy to eat, easy to digest, and hard to stop. But inside your body, they create confusion. They don't provide clear nutritional signals. They overload your system with empty energy and force your liver, gut, and immune system to work overtime. When your organs are busy detoxing and correcting damage, healing slows down. Let's talk about timing, because this is powerful and often ignored. Your body does most of its deep repair at night. This is when inflammation should drop, cells regenerate, and the brain clears waste. But if you eat late, especially heavy or sugary food, your body stays awake internally. Blood sugar stays high, insulin stays active, and the healing process gets delayed. So when people say my body isn't healing, the real question is not why healing isn't happening. The real question is what is getting in the way? Because the body doesn't suddenly forget how to heal. It doesn't just stop knowing what to do. What usually happens is that healing signals are being blocked, drowned out, or overridden by stress signals. And one of the strongest sources of those signals is food. Your body evolved to heal in environments where food was simple, natural, and spaced out. Healing happened between meals, during rest, during sleep, during periods of calm. But modern life has completely changed that rhythm. Today, many people are constantly eating, constantly digesting, constantly stimulating their system. And when the body is always busy processing, it has no space left to repair. Think of healing like background software running quietly in your body. It works best when nothing interferes with it. But every time you overload your system, with excess sugar, constant snacking, heavy late meals, or processed foods, you pull the body out of repair mode and push it into management mode. Here's where things get uncomfortable. You can be eating healthy and still block healing. You can be eating salads, fruits, and home-cooked meals, and your body may still be inflamed, tired, foggy, or resistant to repair. Because healing doesn't depend only on what you eat. It depends on timing, combinations, and overload. Let's start with something simple. Every time you eat, your body has to make a decision. Should I focus on digestion and blood sugar control, or should I focus on repair and regeneration? The problem is, digestion is demanding. Constant eating keeps your body busy processing food instead of fixing itself. When you snack all day, eat late at night, or overload your system with heavy meals, your body never gets the quiet time it needs to heal. Managing blood sugar, managing inflammation, managing stress hormones, managing digestion, healing gets postponed. And the problem is, postponed healing becomes chronic problems. This is why people can eat okay and still feel unwell. This is why someone can follow a diet and still feel inflamed. This is why supplements don't always work. Healing doesn't fail because the body is weak. Healing fails because the environment inside the body is too noisy. Your body is designed to heal when it feels safe. Safe blood sugar, safe hormone levels, safe digestion. When food constantly spikes insulin, causes inflammation, or overloads the gut, the body shifts into survival mode. And survival mode is not healing mode. Survival mode is about immediate control, not long-term repair. This is especially important to understand because many people blame themselves. They think they lack discipline. They think their genetics are bad. They think aging is the reason they feel this way. But aging doesn't stop healing. Stress signals do. Even as you age, your body still knows how to repair tissues, regulate immunity, and protect itself. What changes is how often it gets the chance to do so. One of the clearest examples of this is sleep. Deep healing processes peak at night. This is when the brain clears waste. This is when inflammation should drop. This is when cells regenerate. But if your system is overloaded from the day, heavy dinners, late night sugar, constant digestion, healing gets delayed. The body is physically tired, but internally it's still working. That's why someone can sleep 8 hours and wake up exhausted. The body didn't rest, it managed. Healing requires stillness inside the system, and food timing, quality, and quantity directly affect that stillness. Another important truth is this: symptoms are not the enemy. Symptoms are signals that healing is being blocked somewhere. Fatigue, bloating, brain fog, stubborn weight, joint pain, these are not random. They are messages. The body is saying, I'm trying to fix things, but something is in the way. And often, that something is repeated daily habits that seem harmless. Snacking all day, drinking sugary beverages, eating late because it feels comforting, relying on processed convenience foods. None of these feel dangerous in the moment, but over time, they keep healing permanently postponed. What's powerful and hopeful is that removing blockers is often more effective than adding treatments. Many people chase supplements, detoxes, and miracle foods, when the real breakthrough comes from simply allowing the body to do what it already knows how to do. When blood sugar stabilizes, inflammation calms. When digestion gets breaks, repair begins. When food becomes supportive instead of overwhelming, healing accelerates. And this doesn't take months to notice. The body responds quickly when interference stops. Energy improves, sleep deepens, cravings reduce, mental clarity returns. These are not coincidences. These are signs that healing signals are getting through again. This is why extreme restriction is not the answer. Starving the body is also a stress signal. Healing is not about punishment. It's about cooperation, giving the body what it needs and removing what confuses it. Your body is not asking for perfection. It's asking for consistency. It's asking for space. It's asking for food that communicates safety instead of urgency. When you understand this, health stops feeling complicated. It stops feeling like a constant battle. You stop fighting your body and start listening to it. Healing is not something you force. It's something you allow. And the most important realization is this: if you are alive, your body is still trying, no matter how long you've struggled, no matter how old you are, no matter how many times you've failed at diets or routines. Healing hasn't given up on you. Most people think of food as fuel, something you eat to get energy, calories, or to stop hunger. But that way of thinking is outdated and incomplete. Food is not just fuel, food is information. Every single thing you eat sends messages to your body, and those messages decide what your body does next. The moment food enters your system, your body doesn't ask how many calories it contains. It asks a much more important question. What does this mean for survival? Should I store, protect, repair, or defend? Food communicates directly with your hormones, your immune system, your brain, and even your genes. And depending on the message, your body either moves toward healing or away from it. This is why two people can eat the same number of calories and experience completely different outcomes. One person feels energized, clear-headed, and stable. The other feels inflamed, tired, and foggy. The difference is not willpower. It's how their body interprets the information coming from food. When you eat whole, natural foods, your body receives clear instructions. It understands what to do with them. Blood sugar rises gently, hormones stay balanced, inflammation stays low, the immune system stays calm but alert. These are healing signals. They tell the body that the environment is safe, predictable, and supportive. And when the body feels safe, it invests energy into repair. But when food is highly processed, overloaded with sugar, or eaten in chaotic patterns, the message becomes confusing. Blood sugar spikes, insulin surges, stress hormones rise, inflammation increases. These are not healing signals. These are emergency signals. And when the body receives emergency information, It stops long-term repair and focuses on short-term control. This is why food choices matter even when weight doesn't change. Someone can be thin and still inflamed. Someone can eat less and still feel worse, because the body is reacting to information, not just quantity. Another important thing to understand is that food messages don't work in isolation. They stack. One sugary drink may not cause obvious damage, but repeated sugar signals throughout the day keep insulin high. Constant insulin tells the body to store, not heal. Over time, this creates resistance, inflammation, and fatigue, even if total calories don't seem excessive. Timing also changes the message. The same food eaten in the morning sends a different signal than when eaten late at night. At night, your body expects repair, not digestion. When you eat late, especially sugar or heavy foods, you send mixed signals. The body is told to stay active when it should be resting. Healing messages get drowned out by digestive demands. Even food combinations matter. Sugar with fat sends a stronger storage signal than either alone. Ultra-refined oils change how cells respond to insulin. Overcooking vegetables destroys the compounds that deliver healing instructions. These details are rarely discussed, but they matter because the body responds to patterns, not intentions. What makes this powerful is that once you understand food as information, you stop chasing extremes. You stop asking, is this good or bad? And start asking, what message does this send? Does it calm my system or stress it? Does it support balance or force correction? This mindset shift is life-changing. It removes guilt. It removes confusion. It gives you control without obsession. You don't need perfection. You need clarity. When food consistently sends messages of stability, the body begins to trust its environment again. Hormones regulate, cravings reduce, energy becomes steady, healing processes restart quietly in the background. You don't feel it happening all at once, you feel it as ease, as less resistance, as the absence of constant struggle. And this is why food is one of the most powerful tools for health, not because it's restrictive, but because it's communicative. You are speaking to your body every day through your choices. The question is whether your body is hearing chaos or clarity. Once you start sending the right messages, healing doesn't need to be forced. It becomes the natural response. The moment you stop blocking it, your body remembers exactly what to do. Most people don't realize that one of the biggest reasons healing slows down has nothing to do with what they eat, but how often they eat. Constant eating has quietly become normal. Snacks between meals, drinks with calories, late-night bites, small portions all day long. It feels harmless. Sometimes it even feels responsible. But inside the body, this pattern creates a problem that almost no one talks about. Every time you eat, your body switches into digestion mode. Blood sugar rises. Insulin is released. Energy is redirected toward processing food. This is not bad. Digestion is essential. But when digestion never stops, healing never gets priority. Your body can't fully digest and deeply repair at the same time. It has to choose. And when meals and snacks are constant, the choice is always digestion. This is why so many people feel like they're doing everything right but still feel tired, inflamed, or stuck. Their body is busy all day long. It never gets a break. And without breaks, repair processes don't activate properly. One of the most powerful times for healing is when you're not eating at all. Between meals, during sleep. In those quiet windows, your body finally has space to clean up damaged cells, calm inflammation, and rebalance hormones. But if you snack every 2 hours or eat late at night, those windows disappear. Late night eating is especially disruptive. At night, your body is programmed to shift into repair mode. Growth hormone increases, inflammation should drop, the brain clears waste. But when you eat late, especially heavy or sugary foods, your body stays alert internally. Blood sugar remains elevated. Insulin stays active. The message becomes mixed. Repair is postponed. This is why late eating is linked to poor sleep, stubborn weight, and inflammation. The body is physically resting, but metabolically it's still working. Healing doesn't happen in a tired system. Another issue is that constant eating trains the body to expect food all the time. Hunger signals become confused. Energy levels depend on frequent intake. The body loses its flexibility. the ability to switch smoothly between using food energy and stored energy. This metabolic inflexibility makes healing harder because the body always feels like it's on edge. When food intake becomes more structured and intentional, something interesting happens. Hunger becomes clearer. Energy stabilizes. Cravings reduce. This is not because you're eating less, but because your body finally understands the rhythm. Spacing meals gives insulin time to come down, inflammation markers drop, cells get time to perform maintenance. Even digestion improves because the gut isn't constantly overloaded. This doesn't mean extreme fasting or skipping meals aggressively. Healing is not about stress, it's about giving your body breathing room. Even simple changes, like removing snacks between meals or stopping food a few hours before sleep, can dramatically change how the body feels. People are often surprised by how quickly this helps. Better sleep within days, less bloating, more mental clarity, reduced cravings. These are signs that repair systems are coming back online. What's important to understand is that constant eating keeps the body in a reactive state. It's always responding, adjusting, managing. Healing requires a proactive state, a time when the body can work ahead instead of catching up. Modern life already gives the body enough stress. Food shouldn't add to that stress, it should create moments of calm inside the system. And this is where many people misunderstand health advice. They think eating frequently boosts metabolism or keeps energy up. In reality, it often keeps insulin up and repair down. True energy doesn't come from constant intake, it comes from metabolic balance. When the body knows it will get food regularly but not constantly, it relaxes. It doesn't panic, it doesn't overstore, it doesn't stay inflamed, it heals. Healing doesn't need complexity, it needs space. When you give your body time between meals and rest at night, without digestion, you're not depriving it. You're allowing it to do what it was designed to do. Your body heals best in the quiet moments. And those moments begin when eating stops. One of the biggest reasons healing gets blocked has nothing to do with a lack of healthy foods. It has to do with the foods that quietly increase inflammation and confuse the body's signals. Sugar, ultra-processed foods, and poor food combinations don't just add calories. They change how the body behaves at a deep level. Inflammation is not always bad. In short bursts, it helps the body heal injuries and fight infections. The problem begins when inflammation becomes constant. And one of the fastest ways to create constant inflammation is through repeated blood sugar spikes. This is where sugar plays a major role. When you eat sugar, your blood glucose rises quickly. Your body responds by releasing insulin to bring it back down. That process is normal. But when sugar intake is frequent or combined with refined carbohydrates and fats, insulin stays elevated longer than it should. Over time, this creates a low-grade inflammatory state. The body is no longer calm, it's constantly correcting. A body that is constantly correcting cannot fully heal. Processed foods make this worse because they are engineered for convenience, not clarity. They digest quickly, hit the bloodstream fast, and provide very little real information to the body. Your system doesn't recognize them the way it recognizes whole foods. Instead of clear signals, the body gets noise. It has to work harder to regulate blood sugar, detox additives, and manage inflammation. This is why even small amounts of ultra-processed food, eaten regularly, can slow healing. It's not about occasional enjoyment, it's about daily signals. Repeated exposure tells the body that the environment is unstable. And when the environment feels unstable, the body prioritizes defense over repair. Food combinations matter more than people realize. Sugar eaten alone causes a spike. Fat eaten alone causes storage. But sugar and fat together send a powerful message to store energy quickly and protect it aggressively. This combination was rare in nature but is common in modern food. Desserts, snacks, baked goods, fast food. These foods push the body into survival mode again and again. Another hidden problem is refined oils. Highly processed seed oils, when consumed frequently, can increase oxidative stress inside the body. This adds to inflammation and makes cellular repair more difficult. The body spends energy managing damage instead of fixing existing issues. Even cooking methods play a role. Overcooking vegetables can destroy beneficial compounds that support healing pathways. Adding sugar-based sauces to otherwise healthy meals can cancel out benefits. Relying on refined grains instead of whole foods reduces the body's ability to regulate blood sugar smoothly. None of this means food needs to be perfect. Healing doesn't require obsession, but it does require awareness. When inflammation stays high, the body behaves differently. Hormones shift, hunger signals change, energy drops, repair processes slow down quietly, not all at once, but gradually. This is why people often feel stuck. They're eating better than before, but inflammation is still present. They may be eating less sugar, but still combining it in ways that keep insulin elevated. They may be choosing healthy foods, but preparing them in ways that strip away their benefits. The body is incredibly responsive when inflammation is reduced. When sugar intake stabilizes, insulin calms down. When processed foods decrease, the immune system relaxes. When food combinations become simpler, digestion improves. Healing doesn't need to be forced. It emerges naturally when the environment inside the body becomes quieter. What's important to understand is that inflammation is not always loud. It doesn't always feel like pain. Sometimes it feels like fatigue, sometimes like brain fog, sometimes like stubborn weight or low motivation. These are not signs of laziness or aging. They are signs of a system under constant pressure. When you reduce inflammatory signals from food, the body finally feels safe enough to invest energy into repair. Cells regenerate more efficiently, hormones rebalance. The immune system becomes more intelligent instead of reactive. Healing doesn't come from adding more and more solutions. Often it comes from removing what interferes. When sugar stops dominating meals, when processed foods stop being daily habits, when food combinations support stability instead of spikes, the body begins to recover its natural rhythm. Your body wants to heal, but it can't do that while constantly putting out fires. Remove the fire, and healing becomes the default again. One of the most important things people misunderstand about healing is the idea that it requires perfection. Perfect diets, perfect routines, perfect discipline. That belief alone stops more healing than almost anything else, because perfection creates stress, and stress is the enemy of repair. Your body doesn't heal because everything is ideal. It heals when things are aligned, when daily habits support how the body actually works, when food, rest, and rhythm send clear, consistent signals instead of mixed ones. Healing is not fragile. It doesn't break because you miss a meal plan or enjoy food. What slows healing is constant contradiction, eating in ways that spike stress while expecting calm results, sleeping poorly while expecting energy, overloading the system while hoping for balance. When alignment is present, the body responds quickly, not dramatically, not all at once, but steadily. Digestion becomes easier, energy becomes more predictable, cravings lose their grip, sleep deepens. These changes don't feel forced, they feel natural, like resistance has been removed. This is why extreme approaches rarely work long term. Starving the body, cutting entire food groups, obsessing over every detail, these create stress signals. The body responds by protecting itself, not healing. True healing requires cooperation, not control. Alignment looks simple, but it's powerful. Eating whole foods most of the time, allowing time between meals, stopping food early enough at night for rest to begin, reducing sugar without fear, simplifying meals so the body isn't confused. These are not rules, they are signals of safety. When the body feels safe, it heals. This is also why healing doesn't take as long as people expect once alignment begins. Many notice changes within days or weeks, not months. Less bloating, better sleep, clearer thinking, more stable moods. These are signs that repair processes are coming back online. The goal is not to chase results. The goal is to create conditions. The body does the rest. This mindset removes guilt from health. It removes the feeling of failure. You're not broken because you struggled. You were just working against your biology without realizing it. Healing is not something you earn, it's something you allow. And the most empowering part is that alignment is flexible. Life doesn't need to be perfect for healing to continue. One aligned meal doesn't fix everything. One unaligned day doesn't destroy progress. What matters is the direction, not the occasional detour. When you stop fighting your body and start listening to it, health stops feeling complicated. It becomes intuitive, sustainable, calm. Your body has always known how to heal. Alignment simply gives it permission.